and welcome to Declassified episode 3. This was Nightvisiting. I'm joined as always by the lovely Chris and Rob.
Hello. Hi.
And things were a little different to the first 2 episodes of the series. This one had a bit of a different tone. So Robert, what did you think?
I quite liked it. It was very, it was less actiony and more kind of psychological thriller. And it's nice that we're not really far into quite a young series, and we've already had such a wide variety of episodes and a wide variety of themes. So I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, same. I think it was really interesting way of tackling grief on screen and the different ways people cope after losing a loved one. I think we appreciated the change in pace. I think it would have been another heavy action episode. It would have started to feel a bit drawn out, like 3 in a row. So I had some really interesting things to say, some really nice moments. Yeah, I think it was a really, really interesting episode. Oh,
Did you like it?
Hated it. I hated it. Hated it with such a passion. I was ready to walk out after the first 15 minutes. I absolutely hated that. I want that 45 minutes of my life back.
Why?
I am so, I can't believe how much I hated it. Plot holes, continuity errors. I didn't like the tone. I have so much that I really didn't like about that episode, and I'm going to struggle to pick a low light. I'm actually going to struggle to pick a highlight, actually, because it was crap. Did you? Well, you quite liked it. So what was your highlight?
I thought the scenes with Tanya and her dad were really good. I actually would have liked more of that. I thought it was really powerful seeing this kind of young woman cope with the loss of her father, and the way that she wasn't just sad, she was angry as well. Obviously that came to play in a more major way later on. I thought their kind of on-screen connections were really good. It was the fact that the alien literally knew everything and was the dad. There wasn't any kind of trickery, there wasn't a way of her trying to kind of work out if it was him or not. It was so accurate and it was so menacing, and their just on-screen chemistry was great. I thought those scenes were really powerful, and she nailed it. The actress playing Tanya just smashed out of the park. She was so good.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I think the highlight for me was the teacher, whose name I can never remember. Her performance, I know you guys have highlighted it in past episodes, and I've been kind of like, yeah, she was okay. But she had some absolutely brilliant moments in this episode. But I think the specific highlight was really cracked me up when she was reading The Hunger Games. I just went, did this happen?
Yeah, Catherine Kelly's still my highlight. I sound like such a broken record. In the first episode she was my least favourite, but now she's the only one that I sort of want to see more of. I've said it last week, I said everything last week, but that was the only thing I liked in this episode. I'm going to have a load of lowlights, but what was yours?
I think the low light for me was that pretty much every character was troubled. And it's just not realistic that in a group of friends, all 5 of them have really major issues. And I think they played on Ram's girlfriend, and it's just kind of a bit boring now. It's obviously it's a big grief thing, but he had a major episode. He's had a lot of kind of major moments in previous episodes involving her, and it's kind of like when you saw that people were coming back from the dead, you were just sat there waiting for Ram's girlfriend to turn up again.
My low light, kind of playing off that actually, was the contrast of the romance subplots to the grief subplots, because I thought the grief stuff was really good, but I thought I wasn't as keen on the romance. The prince getting with his boyfriend was quite sweet, but also we didn't even see the boyfriend last episode, and now it's they moved in together. And you've got Ram and April, even though Ram, like you said, his girlfriend died a couple of weeks ago, and now they're copping off of each other, and it's it doesn't feel, for me, I don't feel like we know enough about those characters for that to be a big deal. And maybe, they're young, maybe it means nothing, but it's if you're going to have 2 of your characters get together, doing it sort of a quarter of the way into the series, and then another 2 moving in together a quarter of the way into the series, just feels a little bit too soon for me.
Especially when Ram and April were in the middle of an emergency and running somewhere.
Dodging the grief vines and they're just sat under a bus shelter having a snog. It's like, don't you have more important things to do?
Adults writing teenagers.
Ram and April were one of my many lowlights. It came from nowhere. We've had no sort of tension between the two of them. There's no chemistry between the two of them. If you were to say anyone was going to get together, you would say it would be Ram and Tanya. And then all of a sudden, April's making out with him. And it's like, what? So that made no sense and it came from nowhere. I didn't like the tone of the episode. It was too heavy. A 14-year-old girl talking to her dead dad. That was horrific, and there was hardly any humour in the episode. There was no breaks from that. But the plot holes. So the prince got like a very brief fleeting glance of his parents, but he would not know that that was his parents because he's never seen his parents in human form. And then he said on the phone, oh yeah, April said that there's a massive vine coming out of Tanya's window. No, she didn't. We heard the phone call. And then April and Ram just sort of ran under the vines and got into Tanya's house. How did they get in, by the way? They don't have a key. Instead of just commando crawling under them like everyone else had done, and like they had done pretty much the entire way to the house. I hated it so much. I hated it.
Quite a strange alien, wasn't it? When you think of the classic Doctor Who universe aliens, the grief plant isn't maybe the one that's gonna come back.
I think it's a good concept, alien.
Yeah, it is.
I think
it's like a metaphor, isn't it?
It's an interesting idea. I just don't think it was executed well at all. But maybe next week will be better.
Yeah.
Next week looks quite fun. So we've got the Shadowkin back next week. It looks like it's going to be an April-centric episode.
Yes.
And she's just going around getting with Ram and Hulk smashing stuff.
The trailer looked bad, didn't it? If you really like this episode, or if you agree with Emma and really didn't like it, then let us know in the comments below.
Thanks for watching.
Bye. See you next week.